Okay, I finished my second prototype puppet, which is this guy, and this one is the previous one was intended to be the character the player controls. This one is a bit of sort of animated set design. It's not a real interactive character. It just sort of moves in the background as the player does stuff. And it's mostly there as so I have some assets to test, like logic for building interactive sets. And also because I was down on the seashore and found a bunch of limpet shells and was thinking about what I could build with limpet shells, and ended up with this doodle of some sort of anthropomorphic tree trunk wearing a limpet shells hat. And lo and behold, that is what I built. So it's very static. It's the only animation that it can do is it can sort of be a limpet shell on the ground and then rise up and be some sort of thing in the environment. And then I haven't shot the animation for this yet, but also be able to rotate so it can track the player as they move across the scene, which is a little bit creepy, and that's kind of the point. So that's what I got, and now we're going to look at how it got built. I'm having a little bit of trouble with this model. I like the design. I like how it's turning out, but there's a problem with the wax. I'm not sure how to solve, so I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit. It's coated on a dowel, and unfortunately, I doubt you can see the details very well in this. This is another model I'll have to paint to bring out the details, but it's a little face. It's got sort of eyes and a mouth on this long thing, and it's gonna wear a silly hat. But it's lumpy, and that's just when I laid the wax onto the dowel. It didn't get perfectly smooth, and I tried a couple of different ways of scraping it with a knife and flame polishing it with the torch to make it smooth, and neither of those really worked. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I might try and go over it with some sort of abrasive. Like, it's going to clog sandpaper instantly, so I can't use that. Maybe a better scraping tool, even like a vegetable peeler to cut off wax and make it a little bit smoother. And then I'll go ahead and add some surface detail, but I do want it to be smooth. I may even resort to solvent polishing. Okay, that worked way better than I was expecting, with the vegetable peeler on the relatively cold wax and a little bit of flame polishing to come back in and sort of smooth out some of the facets. And it's not perfect, but it's much better than it was. And I can build on this. So you can see my sort of very significantly jury-rigged mechanism for this. It's just a binder clip bolted to a frame, or not bolted, clamped to a frame, which is held together with clamps. Like, this is all very temporary. But it lets me, you know, slide this up and down in a controlled way. I've got marks on the stick that indicates frames. So each large mark is a frame. So the animation is a little bit wobbly, which I think makes it not useful for the final product, but it's fine for testing, and so I will use it. I'll use it for now. To make it smoother, I'll have to replace the bamboo post that I used, which is not circular, not perfectly cylindrical, with something like a dowel that's a little smoother, and figure out a mount that lets me rotate this smoothly in a controlled way so I can do a turnaround animation, which I couldn't really do with a binder clip. It was too unstable and wobbly. But for testing, it's great, and I'll do that other stuff at some point in the future if I decide to actually use this puppet in the final thing. And so next I'm going to probably work on some static sets, like walls and stuff, and so that the character has a place to walk around in. And that'll be super fun. And there'll be more videos on that coming up.